Today we'll look at every new deck from the brand new set, Paldea Evolved. Let's begin with Bellibolt EX. The sample list for this card focuses around the paralyzing ball attack, which does 160 damage and has the option to discard 2 energy and paralyze the opponent's active Pokemon. Paralyze has always been a strong special condition, especially against decks that don't normally play switching cards like Lugia and Gardevoir decks. The turn-to-turn strategy for this Bellibolt Flaffy deck is to use Paralyzing Bolt to deal considerable damage and paralyze, then next turn use Dynamotor to power up the next Bellibolt and bring it into the active with either Jet Energy or Switch. In addition, the deck plays 4 Iono and 4 Path to the Peak to disrupt your opponent's hand and abilities. I originally rated Bellibolt EX really low in my full set review, but seeing this deck list has given me some hope for the card. Next is Chien Pao EX Baxcalibur, probably the most anticipated new archetype from Paldea Evolved. Baxcalibur's Rain Dance-like ability attaches as many energy as needed, while Chien Pao uses those energies to deal unlimited damage. In the event your Baxcalibur gets knocked out, or you can't evolve it in time, you have Paldea V-Star Star Portal as a backup plan for energy acceleration. This deck list comes from the top 8 of a recent Taiwan Championship event, and the most notable part of the deck for me is Lost City. Sending the opponent's Pokemon to the Lost Zone will be devastating against Gardevoir and Lost Zone decks, which are poised to be the 2 best archetypes in this format. The Chien Pao Baxcalibur deck should do pretty well in standard format, but taper your expectations because we have so many strong cards and decks that are viable in the current metagame. Forretress EX might be one of the coolest EX cards from Paldea Evolved, because its explosive energy ability knocks itself out and attaches 5 grass energy from your deck to your Pokemon. This is truly an explosive amount of energy. The question is, which Pokemon shall we attach it to? The 2 best options I've seen are Trevenant V and the brand new Wo-Chien EX. Trevenant V probably looks really bad, and that's because most of the time it is. But when Forretress EX can KO itself and force the opponent to take prize cards, this means you can use Iono or Roxanne to force the opponent's hand down to 1 to 3 cards, and then discard one of those cards with Shadow Claw. Wo-Chien EX takes care of the heavy lifting, with its first attack dealing up to 300 damage to a benched Pokemon, and its second attack dealing a flat 220 to the active. Wo-Chien EX's already high HP can be even better with Bravery Charm, boosting it to 280 HP. Unfortunately, I think this archetype is going to be underwhelming and lack consistency compared to the top decks in Standard, but it should still be a cool deck to play. Gardevoir EX is old news at this point, but Reversal Gardy deserves to be its own new deck. Utilizing Reversal Energy, Iono, Super Rod, Artisan, and Luxray, all from Paldea Evolved. This new Gardevoir variant focuses on Pokemon that can use Reversal Energy to satisfy their energy costs until the end game, when you evolve into Gardevoir EX and construct your Mewtwo V Union. Reversal Gardy has already achieved multiple top placements in the Asian circuit to prove itself, but it's a pretty abstract deck that takes some getting used to, so I don't expect it to be too popular in the West. Lugia V-Star is another archetype that needs no introduction, but the colorless variant is brand new and made possible by cards from Paldea Evolved. Jet Energy solves the issue of retreating and switching Pokemon that this deck has long struggled with, and Therapy Energy keeps Snorlax from dozing off. This looks like it might be the most consistent Lugia V-Star deck ever, but does it have enough options only using colorless energy? Let me know in the comments if you think colorless Lugia or single strike Lugia will be better in the Paldea Evolved format. Meowscarada EX is a really interesting new card that is sure to excite fans of Decidueye GX from the Sun and Moon block. With the ability to place 3 damage counters and multiply this by the amount of Meowscarada EX on your board, I think this card has a lot of potential and is very tempting to build a deck around. Our first example deck list for Meowscarada EX is very focused on establishing as many Meowscarada as possible and supporting it with Radiant Alakazam to move damage when necessary. Medicham V is a cool inclusion, and it's pretty hard to pass up a chance to use Yoga Loop, so I will definitely be trying this one out. I also came across several Lost Zone Meowscarada EX decks from Japanese events, but I'm much more skeptical of this variant. A Stage 2 Pokemon and rare candies in a Lost Zone deck sounds like a recipe for disaster, but I'd love to see someone prove me wrong. Noivern EX will probably be best as an option in a Regidrago V-Star deck, but sticking Noivern EX into a Regidrago V-Star build would hardly be a new deck. So I found a fully focused Noivern EX deck, although I don't think it's very good. The main issue here is that you need 2 manual attachments to begin attacking with Noivern EX. You can stall for time with Klefki, Mimikyu, Iono, and Path to the Peak, but when you finally begin attacking with Noivern EX, you're not even doing too much damage. I think this concept needs a lot of work to have any chance of being competitive, so let me know if you have any ideas for it. Quaquaval EX is probably the worst of the 3 starter EXs, but I still think you can build an interesting deck around it. This sample deck list uses Klefki as the main Pokemon to switch into after using its first attack to deal 60 and switch, but the new Mimikyu from this set is potentially an even better option. Also notable is that Quaquaval's second attack does 230 damage for just 2 energy, which I think is really good. I'm personally excited to try decks with all of the Paldean starters, even if they aren't going to be the most competitively viable. Next is another old deck with new tricks, Sablezard with Luxray. I'm classifying this as a new deck because it features 4 Luxray and 4 Reversal Energy, adding a sizable new strategy to Sablezard. Since this deck already tends to go behind on prize cards, Luxray and Reversal Energy make perfect sense. Other kinds of Lost Zone decks have also begun including Luxray, but not to the extent of this Sablezard build. The last of the 3 Paldean starters, Skeledirge EX, has very impressive attributes. 340 hit points and an attack that deals 270 damage for just 2 energy. As a competitive community, we have been conditioned to assume every Stage 2 Pokemon is probably bad in recent years, but I have a hard time believing this monstrous Pokemon is just flat out unplayable. Skeledirge EX has seen a good bit of play in the Asian circuit, but hasn't had notable success past the local level yet. What do you think about Skeledirge EX? Is this one of the few Stage 2 Pokemon that can actually find its way into the competitive metagame? Ting-Lu EX is a really intriguing card, since its ability can shut down all of your opponent's Pokemon's abilities, except for Pokemon EX. This means if you can get damage counters on Genesect V, Comfey, Radiant Greninja, Archeops, they're all going to be rendered useless. Is this card too hard to build around, or is it the secret deck that's going to dominate NAIC? I've gone back and forth, but here are 3 different deck lists I found for Ting-Lu. A conservative basic build, one with Drapion V and V-Star, and another with Aerodactyl V-Star. If you're a Ting-Lu believer, let me know how you want to build around this card. For Tinkaton EX, I found a deck list featuring Zoroark, so you can establish up to 5 Tinkatons in total between the regular Tinkaton and the EX. However, this list sorely needs a Milotic included to protect you against hand disruption. I think Tinkaton EX as a concept requires too many things to go your way, between setting up multiple evolution Pokemon, keeping a large hand size, and drawing into your energy cards, but it should definitely be a fun one to mess around with. The last deck list of today's video is a Zoroark Stage 1 box, but it includes some important new cards like Reversal Energy and Satitan. Reversal Energy unlocks a whole new layer to this archetype, since you can now utilize Pokemon with double Turbo Energy attack costs, and attack costs of up to 3 energy of any type. Satitan is a monster Stage 1 Pokemon that hits like a truck with the help of Reversal Energy. It's been really cool to watch Zoroark Box get new tools as more cards are released, and I wonder if this will finally be enough to help it stand up to Lost Zone Box decks, which have taken the spotlight as the #1 single prize archetype. If you enjoyed today's video and would like to support my content, you can do so with the affiliate links and coupon codes in the description down below. Also, make sure you subscribe here and on my second channel for more Pokemon TCG content. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time here on Celio's Network.